Here are some of the most crooked lottery ticket sellers around. Number 10. Crystelle Yvette Baton. Crystelle was an employee at a liquor store in Fort Myers, Florida. That's where she attempted to steal a winning lottery ticket from a customer. He walked in and handed Crystelle the winning ticket, which was worth a total of $600. Crystelle took a look at it and actually took out $5 from her purse and then handed it back to the customer. However, unluckily for her, this guy wasn't just any ordinary citizen. He was an undercover agent working for the Florida Lottery Commission Security Division. So the agent left the store faking that everything went smoothly, only to come back in hours later to bust Crystelle. She probably should have at least done the usual good old trick of pretending to throw the ticket away after telling someone they didn't win anything. Crystelle was arrested for larceny, grand theft, and posted a $5,000 bail. Her employment at the store was immediately terminated once her crime came to light. Number 9. Jun-Chul Chung and Kathleen Chung. Father and daughter duo Jun-Chul Chung and Kathleen Chung were sentenced to years in prison and given huge fines for their roles in stealing a winning lottery ticket. How much was the ticket worth? $12.5 million Canadian dollars. That's over $15.5 million US dollars. The story starts with Kenneth Chung, who is Kathleen's brother. He owns a convenience store in Toronto, Canada. During the period of 2003 to 2004, Jun-Chul worked at his brother's store. Daniel Campbell came into the store in late December of 2003 with a small winning lottery ticket. That ticket earned him 5 free plays. Jun-Chul processed the 5 plays for Campbell, but he discovered that one of the free plays was a winner, a big winner. So he snatched it and returned the 4 losing tickets back to Campbell. He then gave it to his daughter, Kathleen Chung, who then took the ticket and cashed it in at a lottery headquarters. Months later, an investigation by the Ontario Lottery and Gaming Corporation revealed that the ticket claim was most likely fraudulent. But weirdly enough, they still paid it out. For example, Kathleen wasn't able to tell staff where or when she bought the winning ticket. And when she was asked to sign a declaration saying that she didn't know Kenneth Chung, she broke down crying and admitted that he was her brother. Police seized millions of dollars in assets, and the father-daughter duo were ordered to pay back 4.6 million Canadian dollars, the remaining balance from the prize stolen years earlier. Jun-Chul was also given 7 years in prison, and Kathleen was given 4 years. Kenneth Chung, the store owner, was originally convicted of masterminding the scam, but he was eventually acquitted of all charges after the judge ruled that there wasn't enough evidence to prove that he knew what was going on. In 2011, 7 years after the scam took place, Daniel Campbell and 6 former co-workers who had participated in a lottery pool with him finally received their prize. They each received 2.1 million Canadian dollars plus an additional 2.3 million Canadian dollars in interest. That worked out to 14.8 million Canadian dollars split 7 ways. Number 8. Andy and Nayel Ashkar. Back in 2006, both Andy and Nayel Ashkar were working at their family's convenience store in Syracuse, New York. Robert Miles came in and presented what he thought to be a winning ticket. The ticket was for a life-changing $5 million win. The brothers, however, took the ticket and were able to convince Miles that he had only won $5,000. So they took out $4,000 from the cash register and handed it to Miles. The remaining $1,000 was the store's portion. However, alarms were ringing at the lottery office when Nayel took it in. That's because the brothers waited nearly 6 years to claim the prize, just 11 days before the deadline to collect. Apparently, that was one of their biggest mistakes. Lottery officials were expecting suspicious claims to the ticket right before the expiration date. Plus, the brothers had asked for less money in return for anonymity. And they confessed that they supposedly bought the ticket at their dad's store, something we know wasn't true anyway. The only reason they had to mention that part is because Nayel first told officials that he didn't know where he got the winning ticket. But lottery officials eventually put 2 and 2 together, and in their investigation recognized that Robert was the real winner. Nayel was somehow cleared of his conspiracy charges. However, the judge gave Andy the maximum sentence, between 8.5 to 25 years. 7 long years after he bought the ticket, Robert Miles was finally awarded the long-disputed $5 million prize. Number 7. Omar Ali. Omar Ali was a clerk at a convenience store called Timewise in Houston, Texas for 8 years. However, that quickly came to an end after he was seen tampering with lottery scratch cards on the store's very own surveillance cameras. What prompted the review of the surveillance video was multiple reports by customers that they had been sold subtly scratched lottery tickets. According to court documents, investigators believed Ali would basically make very small scratches in the bonus box to see if the ticket was an instant winner or not. He was charged with a felony for his act of tampering with the lottery tickets. Number 6. Wendy Maxine Klinker. Back in May 2018, Wendy Maxine Klinker faced charges of counterfeiting or altering lottery tickets. Wendy was working as an assistant manager in a Fort Myers, Florida Circle K store. That's when suddenly, in February of that year, scratched lottery tickets began turning up at the store. Other store officials reported the tickets as scratched and sent them back to the Florida State Lottery Department. A total of 83 scratch and win style tickets were found with scratches. And who was it that they found did the scratching when officials started investigating? Wendy. She was caught on camera, let's call it, engaging with the tickets. What we're wondering is why people still commit crimes when they know they're on camera. Klinker was arrested and released on a $5,000 bond, but not so fast. She claimed that she's completely innocent. Her attorney, RENEE Suarez, claimed that it's a big cover-up. He said that the state lottery department had conducted an investigation that revealed the rollers in their own ticket dispensers can cause damage to tickets, and that's what had caused the micro scratches on the ticket. Suarez also claimed that the state lottery department itself was behind the publicity surrounding the case. He claims that rather than owning up to their machines being capable of damaging tickets, the department had a motive to keep the public's confidence and chose to drag Wendy's name through the mud. However, the Department of the Lottery of Florida disagrees. They claim that the tickets were sent to the Lottery Inc. laboratory for closer examination, but the laboratory never went so far as to examine the tickets, citing that the scratches were obviously placed in areas that exposed play data. The report also said that security video from inside the store had captured Klinker scratching the tickets on February 9th, 2018 as she was working. It claimed that Klinker kept the winning tickets to herself and placed the losing tickets back into the dispenser. The outcome of the case wasn't made public, so we don't know for sure if she actually did it. Number 5. Sylvia C. Kalea. She was arrested in September 2014 in Miami after she told a customer that their winning lottery ticket wasn't worth anything at all. This took place at a La Rampa supermarket, which was owned by Sylvia. Investigators working at the lottery's division of security had long suspected her of stealing customers' winning tickets, so they sent in an investigator to the store in a sting operation. The undercover agent gave Kalea a fake lottery ticket that would register as a winner on the store's scanner. As expected, Kalea told the agent that the ticket was a loser and proceeded to keep the ticket for herself. Kalea was arrested, and so was her husband for trying to cash the ticket. Her store was just one of several on the list. The sting operation had been targeting stores with frequent winners after an investigation revealed discrepancies in frequent lottery winners. For example, Kalea's husband was her store's top winner, having won 11 times at the store since 2008, collecting nearly $36,000. However, sometimes it's not outright stealing, though. It's a different type of fraud. Find out all about that in this video. Number 4. Sydney Renee Wilson. Sydney Renee Wilson was a former gas station employee at Murphy, USA. And the reason that she's a former employee is because she was accused of stealing lottery tickets while working. On January 3rd, 2020, store managers called police after suspecting Wilson of potentially stealing nearly $3,000 worth of lottery tickets. The two store managers told officers that they believed they had seen Wilson taking $10 and $20 scratch-off tickets from the surveillance footage. Then they watched her scratch the tickets to expose the UPC codes and then scan the ticket to check if it was a winner. She was also seen taking money directly from the cash register. In an interview with the detective, Wilson admitted that she had stolen the ticket. She claimed that she had committed the crimes basically because she needed the money. She estimated the theft got her a total of roughly $1,200. The kind of naive part for her was this. She had agreed to talk to the police about the incident only because she had the intention of paying all the money back. Wilson was charged with 2 Class D felonies, theft of property, and lottery fraud. Number 3. Tina Dahl. Back in 2008, she saw an opportunity to steal from a customer and she took it. She was given a scratch-off ticket and she scanned the ticket. Came up as a winner for $5,000. However, she didn't tell him that it was a winner. In fact, she told him it was not a winner even when he asked her twice. She then just went ahead and kept the ticket for herself. That was a big problem for her. That's because the person who came in and showed her the ticket was a special agent with the Department of Justice. They were running a sting at different stores throughout the state. Special Agent James A. Sealer gave Tina a scratch-off ticket that was set up to show as a winner above the $599 a lottery vendor can pay out at the time. She was supposed to tell the customer to go redeem the ticket at the lottery office themselves. This was just one of 200 fake winning tickets officers had prepared for the sting. Instead, Tina scanned the ticket herself, later to confirm that it was a winner. And then she showed up at the state lottery office in Wisconsin herself to present the ticket as her own. Because it wasn't a real winning ticket, officials told Tina that she would be contacted later. When investigators gave her a call and asked her some simple questions, she couldn't answer. She finally confessed to stealing the ticket. She ended up losing her job and getting a fine, but no jail time. Number 2. Shakanya Louise James. She was arrested in 2019 after she was caught stealing 150 77777 lottery tickets. Those tickets were stolen from the Shell gas station that Shakanya had worked at. UPS had delivered the tickets to the gas station, and she actually signed for the delivery. But obviously, the tickets went missing. 7 days later, she scanned one of the tickets at work. When the system refused to scan the ticket, she was dumb enough to call the Arkansas Lottery Commission to complain that there's a problem with the ticket scanning system. What she didn't realize was that the tickets had to be activated first, or else there's no way a winning ticket could be redeemed. There was surveillance footage from her own store of her trying to scan the stolen tickets. There were also photos of her trying the same thing at a different store. Shakanya was charged with 9 counts of lottery fraud, with each punishable by up to 6 years in prison. Number 1. Edward Williams Brown. On August 2nd, 2020, a customer went into a San Angelo, Texas convenience store to try to cash a winning lottery ticket. Edward, the clerk at the time, scanned the ticket and it showed that it was a winner for $1,000. But he told the customer that they had won $100 instead and handed the cash over to the customer. What prompted an investigation was when Brown went to the claim center and tried to claim the winnings. He filled in a form inaccurately, which aroused suspicions, and lottery officials decided to investigate. They found out that he never bought the ticket and instead had stolen it. Edward was ultimately charged with lottery fraud, and because he decided to commit lottery fraud, police were able to arrest him for 2 other charges. Here's what's next.